Come on. What? King Comedian's Celebrity Gossip.
Down the Rabbit Hole. Oh my gosh. Really check out Down the Rabbit Hole. I mean, just the research, how fast, they are. A lot of times down the rabbit hole, sometimes it's running circles around me.
Investigative YouTuber. Serving all the receipts.
Ooh, good morning, guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat so far. Let me see who I have here. Sorry, guys. I'm just like getting on and I should have been a little bit more prepared per usual. Hey, Cash. Hey, Cloud. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to let people get in here for a little bit before we get started because it's not like I scheduled to just go live. I just happened to go live. Hey, Daisy. Hey, Nicole. How are you guys? Welcome. Let me see what I have on my device. Hey, Bossy. How are you? Welcome, welcome, guys. Hey, wise old lady. Welcome, Louisiana lady. All right. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. What are you guys drinking today? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you drop where you're coming from and let me know what side of the world you're at, time zone. Hey, April. Welcome. Okay, Linda. Welcome, welcome, guys. I'm having some iced coffee this morning. Okay. It's kicking in little by little. It's kicking in, but that's what I'm having today. Welcome, guys. Oh, let me get this screen share going real quick. And I apologize. Let me see. I don't even have a thumbnail going on yet. But that's okay because I wanted to come out here and talk a little bit about a couple things that I wanted to talk about and address. Let's see. Let me share this, mother. Is this it? Yep. Okay. All right. Hey, all right. Everybody's coming in Philadelphia. It's okay. So it's not morning anymore for you. Minnesota, Florida, Florida, Texas, Scotland, Los Angeles. Yes, wow. Shout out to everybody in Los Angeles. England. Shout out to everybody. Cash is from England. Shout out to you, Cash. Donna and Jesse. All those come in time. You are here, and that's all that matters. You know what? I was late. And one of my biggest pet peeve, I'll tell you guys right now. I hate people that are late. Not that I hate them, I don't like I'm always early on something. So when I'm late, I feel some type of way, so I apologize I was late today. But it was only for a couple minutes and I had to get everything going. Hey Penny, welcome. Welcome. Welcome, Christine. Welcome. Okay. Everybody make sure you drop where you're coming from. Daisy's from Texas. Shout out to Look at Cloud and Daisy, you guys are in the same state. Look at that. So you never know who you can meet, right? Look at April's from Texas too. Springfield, Illinois. Shout out to Springfield. No, you meant the thumbnail. Yeah, I didn't have a thumbnail going, but we'll get that thumbnail later on. I apologize, but I just kind of came in. Hey, Donald Duck, it's been a minute. Shout out to you. I hope you're doing well. Oh my gosh. All right, all my people. Hey, Brianne, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Thank you for sharing, April. Shout out to the Facebook fam as well. Everybody on Facebook. Seattle. Lola, welcome. Texas. Saying hi from Maine. Look, Lexi, we got another person from Texas here. Okay, guys. We have like 4 people from Texas on this chat. That's what I'm saying. You never know. You never know the time zone or where you guys are from. Northern Cali. Okay. All right. Okay. Gotta drive soon to pick up the baby bunny from school. Yes, all right. I mean, those baby bunny children, they're just a handful. I should know. Thank you guys. Thank you for the likes and everything. So we got 66 people in here. Shout out to you guys. Let's get started because I wanted to address a little something before we really get into some content. As you're coming in, please hit that like button. It helps me in the algorithm, and I appreciate everyone that does it. Let me show you guys something. Make myself into a smaller little icon. Okay. Shout out to Bad Apple. So I was tagged and I definitely saw what was up. The mother of Michael Monkey Vaughan, okay? The little boy that went missing in Fruitland, Idaho, okay? There's been a lot going on. He had been missing for about a year and a half or so. And so they started this excavation of a neighbor, right? And so of course these YouTubers, and a lot of us are in this sector where we talk about different crimes and stuff like that, started interviewing potential suspects. Matter of fact, I believe Brandy Neal, who is Michael's mom, found out the news about certain news about Michael through YouTube, through, I believe, Betty. Okay, that's what was said. All right, and I saw some of that, and I just felt some type of way about it. I mean, this woman broke down. This is real life, right? And so then I was tagged to this, and then I went to go see this video. And please do me a favor. There was a content creator that made a video that tagged Michael all over this. It had nothing to do with Michael. Okay, it had everything to do with praising Betty. Okay, and so then Michael's mom went into the chat and requested that you guys remove my son's hashtag from this. Yes, and do me a favor, y'all. Please don't say that clown's name in my chat. I don't. I saw that video, and I'm sorry. It's, everybody has their own delivery and everything, but if you're going to be covering true crime, people's actual stories and children and things that are happening, you got to have a different, like, listen, your talk about dicks in the morning, you're begging, guys, drop a cash app, drop a little cash app. Holy shit. Like everything was, I'm mimicking what she was doing. I'm copying this content creator. I don't even want to say the fucking name. Just telling you. I'm just thinking in my mind, if my little boy was missing, and this is how you're conducting yourself over, and then you're hashtagging my kid all over your video, we're going to have a problem. She didn't even tell him, or her, excuse me, to put the video on private. She didn't say, hey, put your video on private. She said, remove the tags. She just, I mean, the approach, and then she declined. So yeah, she doesn't deserve to be mentioned. I sat there and I said, oh my God, like, I said, that's a new low. That's a new low. But again, we're referred to, those that criticize and call out some of this shit are referred to as the roaches. Oh, these roaches. There she goes, squashing I'm sorry, guys. That was not okay. If that was your kid and you're Brandy and you're asking this content creator, this e-beggar, because literally the first 35 minutes was the begging of a cash app. Now, let me tell you guys something. I appreciate when my subscribers give me cash apps, and they get the super members and all. That's great. But I don't feel like I need to come up here and beg. I'll have my cash app strolling on the bottom. I'll have it on my description box. But I don't need to beg anybody here, because I know that, legit people are going to support you. They're going to love you, whether it's through a view, a like, or whatever it is that they give you. Okay. And I get it. But it's so crazy to me that in the name, if you're going to talk about Michael, then talk about Michael. I don't think Miss Brandy had an issue with that. But the whole video wasn't about bringing justice to Michael, or bringing attention to the awareness of Michael. The whole cash app was this content creator talking about dicks, and please, guys, and this is gonna go, and do I need to get on a stripper pole? Like, I'm like, are you trying to be someone, like, are you trying to go extra? I didn't get it. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Did you guys see that? Yeah, please be careful. I don't want to give that clown any clout. We're not going to give that clown any clout, okay? Because seriously, if you got to stay begging, then there's a problem in the content that you're doing. You have no content. Period. If you stay begging, you have no content. Period. This simple. If you stay begging, you have no content. It's a complete clown. A complete clown. So I said, you really going to decline to remove a hashtag? She's not asking you to remove the video. She said, remove the hashtag. So shout out to Bad Apple. This is what I wrote. I said, I was made aware that Miss Brandy Neal, the mother of Michael Monkey Vaughan, requested that a content creator move his name and hashtag out of a video. The content creator declined. Now, I do not police nor can I dictate what another channel can or can't do. I can't do that. But after reviewing that video, I'm upset, and I truly was upset. It is disgusting. It's disgusting. The outright disrespect, begging for money, trash delivery under Michael Monkey Vaughan's name, shake my head. Miss Brandy, not sure if you're a sub, but I'm sorry for that. And please reach out if you need anything. Myself and the subs support you over here. And I I don't want to speak for everyone here as my subs, but I'm pretty sure that we support them. Okay. And so yeah, it needed to be called out. It needed and shout out to Bad Apple. I emailed Bad Apple and I said, look, I don't know if they want me to do a video, more than willing. I know that Miss Brandy does stop on a couple of channels on YouTube, but she has a lot on her plate right now. You guys, they just had this press conference like 4 days ago. There's a lot that's happening right now within that case, and the last thing she should need to worry about is, you know, people using her son's name when they're not even talking about her son. Not only that, doing it a way in which disrespects the family as a whole. Like, I get it, eBay, but don't put yourself under a true crime category because you're fucking not. You can call me a roach, you can call me whatever, and I'll call you a clown, period. And so will look at my chat. Look at my chat. I don't need to e-beg. I don't need to do that. People will support because they naturally like the content, or they like me, or they support my channel. You don't need to do that. You don't need to e-beg to the point, thank you for the $2. That'll give me a donut. No. It's rough out here. A lot of us have bills. We get it. But we don't need to go that route. We don't need to do that. And then especially use a child's name. And then not even give awareness to what's going on, or even have a little bit of decency to that topic. It's so sad to me. Period. Family before these, like, I'm like, who are you trying to be like? Uh-uh. No, a complete clown. And this is why that clown is not tagged on my videos. You're not anywhere near my tags because you're a nobody, and you will stay begging because that's how you are and that's what you do. And I only had to watch that little video to go off. Okay? Thank you so much. You see, this is an e-beg, and I get a lot of love and support, period, because I bring whatever experts, whether I'm bilingual or my grad school experience or whatever, to a platform to talk about these cases, true crime, bring awareness, working with victims. Yeah, yeah. That's content creating. It is not me sitting here and talking about being on a stripper pole, or dicks or coffee, or thank you. Now I don't have to beg. Thank you. My January paycheck is going to look great. Fuck that, guys. Fuck that. And then all I could hear is a nasally, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I'm like, yo, can you be any more annoying? It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Period. Disgusting. Mm-mm-mm. Clown. Yeah, yeah, Phil. And let's move on, okay? Because I just wanted to give this clown, without even mentioning a name, about 5 seconds, 10, maybe 10 or 15 minutes of my of life. But really, like, you're a clown, and you'll stay like that, because it's like, when you mess with kids, it's just like, you can't, you curse yourself when it comes to that. I truly believe it. Don't mess with people's kids. Don't mess with people's kids. Period. Okay? Especially when you're trying to make money off of somebody's name. Don't do that. Whew. Okay. Okay. Let me stop, Phil. Your comment is everything. Let's move on to the next topic because Phil said a mouthful right here. He said one of these what did you say? The Idaho 4 case is starting to actually become a circus too, Robin. Yes, it is. A little bit, but I think that there's just so much information. There's a lot of misinformation. There's people trying to, like, I was a little weird. I saw something on Twitter yesterday and I said, are people really trying to spell out Jack under the map? Like, it was just weird. And we'll go to Twitter here in a minute, but yeah. But let's cleanse ourselves from that, because I just can't with this tragedy pimping shit. Let's just move on. Let's calm down, like Nicki Minaj says, right, in her Spanish.
Ay, Dios mío. Cálmate, por favor.
Let's cálmate, por favor. All right, everybody calm down. Let's move on from the tragedy pimping. Okay, let's go on. Where do we go? I want to talk a little bit about the Club Q suspect. Okay, the man that to me, this is a hate crime. Okay, period. As well as the Idaho student murders, because there's just so much going on with these two situations right now. Where do we want to go first? Can you guys drop in the chat where should we go first before I decide to go to that area first? It's just so much going on right now, and it is a little bit crazy. Let me see. What does everybody vote in the chat? Do we go to Idaho or do we go to Club Q? Let me know in the chat. And we have 128 people here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please, please, please. And thank you. Yes, hit that like button, please. Yes, 100% I hate crime. Absolutely. Can you guys let me know in the chat? Idaho 4. Patty says Idaho 4. I see the first one there. Idaho. Okay. Idaho. Let's talk about Dad speaking out here, because I just the last I reported was, I think I want to say a week and a half ago. It was around, okay, Idaho, perfect. And I even felt like it was a bit of a cluster then. I thought that the holiday seasons would have eased something, but that was a week and a half ago. And when it comes to news and reporting something, hey, Gumby, welcome, and Patty as well. When it comes to things like that, if you're late on this reporting, right? So I kind of was like, all right, we talked a little bit about this whole stalker situation that was put out there, and then finding out that there is no stalker, but now they're talking about that there is a stalker. Is there a stalker? And then again, based on Kaylee's injuries, okay, that's another one too that they were looking at based on her injuries. People have said and speculated a lot. Targeted, not targeted. Who was the target? It's just become a little bit crazy. So we're going to watch a little bit of Law and Crime and do some commentary to it. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments about things as we are reviewing them. And again, make sure you hit that like button. Let's go.
Roommates of the grisly Idaho quadruple homicide finally break their silence at an emotional memorial service for the 4 victims. We hear from homicide detective Phil Waters about the latest in this investigation. It's now been nearly 1 month since the gruesome murders of 4 University of Idaho students shook the nation.
And it really has been 1 month. Like, that is the crazy part to the situation. It's been a month. Dad is losing his patience. Guys, I think I would be losing my patience as well. Like, the things that are coming up, people are visiting the crime scene. Like, I'm just like, yo, what's going on? Was it targeted? Was it not? What does the crime scene look like? Excuse me. I'm just curious, right? A lot of us have questions and we're all confused.
For the first time, the group's 2 surviving roommates break their silence about the attack. Now, the facts of the unsolved case remain pretty scarce, but we do know students 21-year-old Kaylee Gonzalez, 21-year-old Madison Mogan, 20-year-old Zana Carnodal, and 20-year-old Ethan Chapin arrived to an off-campus home at about 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. Gonzalez and Mogan had visited a bar that night and later a food truck in downtown Moscow, Idaho, while Chapin and Carnodal went to an event at a Sigma Chi fraternity on campus. Now, hours after their arrival at home at 11:58 a.m., a surviving roommate called 911 to report an unconscious person. Upon their arrival, investigators found all 4 students brutally stabbed to death, 2 on the second floor and 2 more on the third. But Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, the 2 roommates on the first floor, were left untouched. At a service held over the weekend,
And that is the piece that I cannot understand as well. A lot of us were confused. Okay, well, that like 2 people were left untouched, right? And we were trying to figure it out. And I appreciate that Law and Crime is doing a little like quick synopsis for those of us that have not been following the case. There's a couple of people that have not, that kind of just want to know the details. But it's just so much going on. I couldn't believe it last night. There's a whole group on Twitter and Reddit that are actually starting to look into Kaylee's dad also now. What? Phil, are you serious? Why? Why? What's the reason? I don't get it. Like, why? So people are blaming the dad? You guys, this is just getting ridiculous, but let's keep watching.
Idaho pastor read letters written by Mortensen and Funk, reading in part, quote, Maddie, Kaylee, Zana, and Ethan were truly all one of a kind. They all lit up any room they walked into and were gifts to this world. And another quote, my life was greatly impacted to have known these 4 beautiful people. Now, let's bring in famed homicide detective Phil Waters, who has been closely following the case. Thanks for joining us. Now, what do you find of these remarks from the surviving roommates, especially after they were all ruled out as suspects?
Well, good morning, Sierra. My first take on this from the beginning is that, and what I commented on was that it is as important to eliminate suspects as it is to find the right one. And in this case, I don't. Again, my commentary is based on what I'm reading and what's been released, and there are many things these detectives know that we do not know. So based on the people that have been ruled out at this point, we have to take at face value that the detectives have done their due diligence to, for whatever reasons, eliminate those people as suspects. And when we have the father has come out and made statements about he's not confident in the police investigation. Some of the other family members and himself are talking about these people that have been eliminated were eliminated too quickly, in his view. And
Okay. This is such an interesting point. And he has come out, he said, they were eliminated too quickly. I felt the same way too. Almost immediately based on the video. It was like, they had an alibi, especially like the people in the actual video. I do feel like that they did clear people a little too quickly, especially with something like this. When they talked about the magnitude of the crime and just the gruesomeness of it, I don't think I would have cleared anybody, But not only that, I also felt some type of way when was it Kaylee's sister came out. Again, she's speaking out and she's putting things together for everyone else, but some of those things she put out to the social media, you sometimes have to say less, and I don't know how well or closely they were working together, right? Is she kind of imploring to get people kind of going out there, especially the internet sleuths, to put things together to help? But I'm just kind of curious to know, especially with Jack, okay? Because that was the other one. Jack would never, he would like, people kind of drew conclusions a little too quickly, and some of that can take away from the investigation, right? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
And I understand that, certainly. I think the biggest problem with this entire investigation from the beginning has been the pitfalls of something like this when you have a department and you have an administration that is not used to this kind of an event occurring in their city. And so the communication becomes very convoluted, and it leaves the appearance that the police are not competent, that they're not saying the things they should be saying, or they're saying some things they shouldn't be saying, and then they say something and they retract it. So it's all a big, to address specific issues within the investigation. It all, kind of begins at the beginning, right? And when all those miscommunications start to occur, then it causes family members a lot of angst and starts them questioning the police and what they're doing, and are they competent in what they're doing, and so forth and so on. So it's a multi-layered investigation, and the results of which and the things that are being released become multi-layered as well, and the responses to those things also. So
Yeah, I think something really important to note here too is that investigators likely know way more than we know at this point. They're keeping some things close to the vest for their investigation. Is that something that you would say is accurate?
well, yeah, and
And I hope that they do, because the more they say out there, the more things are just kind of looking a little bit weird. Yes, yes. I mean, I don't know. They cleared so many people within 24 hours. Well, not only that, I was thinking this too. Okay. This is just my thought, my idea. Okay. Is it possible that they told us, public, that they cleared people just to calm the masses a little bit? That could very well be the case as well, right? Tell them that everybody's cleared so they don't start digging into different people. I've seen that happen before. I mean, what makes you think police wouldn't? I mean, lying is a tactic to get information, right? That does happen. People do lie when they know that it could definitely benefit them. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the people that were seen on surveillance weren't necessarily cleared, but we were told that they were cleared. Possible?
and that's important. I know in my experience, I've had multiple fatality scenes, and of course, those are very high profile. And there are just certain parts of the investigation, and there's evidence in the investigation that is not going to be revealed to the public. And you have to maintain the integrity of that investigation. What you don't want happening is releasing something that you should not have as the detective in the investigation. And then we find out later that bit of information that was released did compromise the integrity of the investigation and cause it to slow down or stop or hinder the apprehension of a suspect. So, I mean, I understand the criticism, but then again, having been on the other side of it, and I understand completely how these families feel, how the public feels. I get it, but I can tell you that there are just certain aspects that have got to be, as you put it, held close to the vest.
Yeah, exactly. Just to maintain the integrity of that investigation. So, a lot of things here are still a question mark. I mean, this is an unsolved case nearly 1 month after it actually happened. But there are some things that we do know for a fact that all of the victims were on the second or third floor, but the two surviving people, the roommates, were on the first floor. But we also know there was no sign of forced entry. Now, we've heard a lot of back and forth about whether the house was targeted or if someone inside was. So, does this make you think that one of the 4 victims inside was, in fact, the target?
Well, that word target has been bandied about quite a bit. I have used it in my commentary, of course, and I've tried to explain it the way I look at an investigation like this is that clearly this is a big time whodunit. It's not a smoking gun, right? So when I use the term targeted, it is apparent to me, and again, I'm just speaking with what I have read and what I know and what we all know, that the person who did this was focused on those 4 individuals. Now, was there somebody within that group that they were more focused on? I think that yet remains to be seen. But today, there's some commentary about how I think it's Kaylee had more. The wounds were much more extreme than on the young lady she was with, and what I read is that they were in the same room together. Now, I may have misread that, but I believe that's what I've read.
So when they said targeted, and I'm glad that they're talking about this piece as well. Patty says possible, Rabbit, but that has to be frustrating for parents for the victims. Jack S. shouldn't have been cleared based on his parents' alibi alone. Yeah, I'm not clearing anybody. That it was just so like, and I had said this when was it maybe 2 weeks ago when I talked about this. I said it just seems a little bit too, especially with the Jacks and the boyfriends, ex-boyfriends. He doesn't look like a killer. He doesn't. I mean, Scott Peterson didn't look like a bad guy. Okay, let's stop assuming that people, like, we don't know their MOs and they're driven. Now, one thing that stood out to me as well, when they said attacked, or excuse me, targeted, the word targeted, I kind of wondered too. Okay, just out of curiosity, is it possible that it's someone within the college? Okay, maybe a fraternity. I think somebody had brought up this point too yesterday. Somebody, they targeted the specific. It was like a fraternity type of attack. I don't know. Like, if these were targeted individuals, was it a fraternity thing? Was it rivalry? Because you guys remember, and I don't know if you, when the hazing thing went around, it's not out of the norm, for this type of stuff to kind of happen, in terms of like attacking one fraternity attacks the other. Maybe something to that effect. Maybe it was a fraternity type of attack. I don't know, and then knowing that Kaylee was the one with the most, you know, the brutality, it kind of makes you wonder, well, if it was the Kaylee that they were after, well, then you have Zaina, you have, Maddie, you have Ethan, then why were they also attacked? I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Let me see if I can pull a comment. I would be scared living anywhere where there still wouldn't be an arrest. Absolutely. Not even like nothing. How and when was the custody of Murphy? Is it proof on the Murphy and the Jack K video? I mean, there's just a lot speculation. And so when Phil, you said this has become a shit show, a circus, I would have to agree. And so the frustration of the father, I feel for it. Now they're blaming the father. It's so funny to me. You have to kind of understand how it works here, because it happened in the Kylie Rodney case. Who do they blame for Kylie's murder? They blame content creators. They blame the mother. Somehow she's and there's even months after. Yo, months after this. Hey, Belinda, welcome. Months after this, people are still blaming mom and content creators about Kylie Rodney. There's still a lot more out. Like, it's just so crazy. Do you think it's a bit? I mean, I was just thinking, Roxy. I was like, maybe it's a fraternity attacking another fraternity. But I mean, it could be a bit too much, especially when they said the word targeted. That's kind of where my mind went. I said, well, maybe it's within its own. Do you guys remember? Oh my God, those that are true crime like aficionados, and I know a lot of them are here. Do you remember the story of the dead cheerleader? This was back in like the 1980s. Lifetime did a movie. Tori Spelling started in the movie. She was like the mean cheerleader, and it was a targeted attack on her. Um, I forgot the name of the girl, but this was like a real story that happened, where she was jealous, a sociopath type of personality. Yeah, you guys remember that? That's kind of where my mind went. I said, well, it seems if this was targeted, right? She wanted to be the popular girl. She was not the popular girl. A lot of these Lifetime movies base themselves off of like true crime stories. Kelly Martin, remember Kelly Martin, Tori Spelling back in the day when they were like the it girls of Hollywood? They started in these like after school specials. Now I'm going on a tangent, right? But to me, that's how when I took Targeted, I kind of felt like, well, targeted in what way? How were their relationships with people in the fraternities? That's why, Roxy, I had said fraternity. I said, was this like a fraternity type of thing? That's kind of where my mind went as far as targeted. The people are targets. The house is target. The car was a target. Shake my head, bro. They're everywhere. Jack S., the food truck guy, lived in one of the apartments next door to Kaylee at 500 Queen Row. There are photos in him in the home for one of the parties before being kicked out of the fraternity. So, Patty, are you thinking that it's an outsider? I don't know. I don't know. The term targets have been thrown. Yes, they have. They have. That's what I'm saying, yo. That's why I get lost.
And that could mean a couple of things. Number one, it could mean that the attack was on the other young lady first, and Kaylee woke up and began to fight. And so when that happens, that ratchets it up the attack, and the attacker had to put Kaylee down because she was, and I don't know if she's one of the ones that had defensive wounds on her or not, but there has been information put out there that there were some defensive wounds on some of the victims. So that could mean that she woke up, and that's why the attack on her is more vicious, because she was fighting. So that, again, that ratchets up the attack, and that may explain why she's got more extreme wounds on her. Now, the other side of that is, of course, that she was the target among these people, and that's why that attack was more vicious. And the other young.
But here's the problem that I have with that. Only one of the victims, okay, I think it was Zaina, I could be wrong, but correct me in the chat, was said to have had defensive wounds. Okay, do you guys remember that? And so then he's saying right now, well, the attack was more brutal on Kaylee because she was probably trying to fight the attacker. But wouldn't those be defensive wounds? I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Rebecca says, I'm feeling like one of the girls on the third floor turned him down, or someone down, and he didn't know where she slept. And everybody kind of became a collateral damage. But the word attack has been thrown around. Mod, you're not lying. I just hope it doesn't become another Delphi. Yeah. And not only that, what are they going to do with that house? Like, I mean, that house is blocked up and everything. It's just so much. And now it's come out Delphi was bundled by PD. Yeah. They definitely fundled it for sure. Has anyone seen a man in the hoodie walking away in Murphy? Ooh, Rabbit, I'm actually starting to think that it might be like an older style dude just blending in, if not a student. BTK killer worked a job in town and was on a local. Oh, see, and that's a good point too. Sometimes we've put these people into boxes, okay, of like, well, they couldn't do it, or we just don't really know. It could be your local pharmacist, right? Your local church leader. We just don't really know. But it's always good to kind of keep that in mind. Could have been the guy who pulled a knife on someone in September, and that's why he was kicked out. Okay, so then I really think they need to look at, did they look at like most recent attacks in the campus, in the frat houses, things like that would be good to kind of establish whether it's somebody that was familiar. One of the things that I said, I feel like this person was waiting for them. If it's a target, was waiting for them in the frat house, in the house. I really think that he was kind of like hiding there. That's just my opinion. Like he knew what the target was, if it's a target, but he waited for them. And if it was a party house, nobody really thought too much about it because people kind of come and go, right? Party house. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think.
Young lady was attacked secondarily, but then that doesn't explain why do we go upstairs and kill the couple that was, from all intents and purposes that we know, wasn't aware of what was going on the second floor. So again, it causes a lot of questions, and I would, in a stabbing, I'm sure the detectives have done this, you should be able to see some sort of transfer of blood. You should be able to get an idea of where the attack started and then where it went to, and plot the path of the suspect through that structure and get a pattern of the way it unfolded. And
when the attacks happened, there was snow, I believe. So I'm just having a hard time. Like, were there any snow tracks or anything on the floor? Now you're saying that at least one suspect was male. Okay. Have we ruled out the possibility of multiple suspects at this point? Has that been ruled out? One person, if it's targeted, then there would be two people that are in cahoots, 3, 4. I'm curious, you know?
And that would be, some of that may be realized with DNA testing and so forth and so on, because if we have mixtures of victims' blood in those two separate bedroom areas, then it might give an indication of the order of things that occurred.
Right. You brought up so many good points there, some that we can, in fact, confirm. Idaho investigators have said that there were defensive wounds on some of the victims. And actually, Kaylee and Maddie, we know that they were very good childhood friends. Actually, their parents saying that they were sleeping in the same bed at the time of this attack. That hasn't been confirmed by investigators, but from their parents. Now, let's focus on another bombshell that could be part of this case, that Kaylee Gonzalez, she may have had a stalker. When her father spoke to Good Morning America, he had this to say.
I mean, did she ever talk to you about a potential stalker or somebody that made her uncomfortable?
She did.
Okay, and Phil, back to what you were saying now, that Kaylee Gonzalez's injuries are said to have been more severe than Maddie's. So could that really mean that she did have a stalker? Could this?
If you guys remember the Thanksgiving, the day before the Thanksgiving, they had the huge conference. They said, no, we ruled out stalker. That was just a rumor, right? It was Mark who made the rumor up, right? It was third-party information. So now we're going back to the stalker information. See, Phil, this is where I feel like you're right on the money, because it's like we're going back to the stalker thing, but they're not. Have they ruled that out? Even though in the conference they say something different. Is there going to be another conference pretty soon? Because it would be nice to kind of get some consensus as far as what information is accurate, right? That's a, you know what? Yeah, knowing where the ex lives would be good. Didn't Hoodie Guy get kicked out of Ethan's fraternity? You guys are saying, Amber, you and everybody else keep saying this too, that there's probably, they did way too quick in ruling it out. Wounds are similar enough to where it's only one type of knife use. Yo, I'm telling you.
Actually lead investigators in that direction?
Well, Sierra, as I said, yes. I mean, the short answer to that is yes. But these are things that are great unknowns, at least to the public, and the detectives in this case may have that answer. They may have some of these answers. So I think I have read where the detectives have determined that the stalker aspect of this thing has not been verified, so that has not been confirmed. So this is something that the father is sharing. Thankful he is sharing that, because it just gives another aspect of the investigation for the detectives. So again, was she targeted specifically by a person who was stalking her? That remains to be seen, and anything that I might comment on, or anybody else that's commenting on this case, it would be pure speculation. And the detectives are the ones that are going to have at least some feeling or indication that that may be the case, or it may not be the case. So clearly, these four young people were, in the sense that they're the ones that were slain. We keep using the word targeted. Well, obviously they were targeted. I mean, that's kind of an obvious observation. So, but the stalking aspect, again, that's just something that's further into the investigation. Hopefully will come to light one way or the other.
Yeah, still a lot of unanswered questions to this unsolved case. The nation is all, their eyes are on Idaho, and we're hoping to find some more answers to those questions soon. Phil, thank you so much for joining us here today, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, Sierra, appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. And remember to subscribe to Long Crime Network.
Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the situation, because it's like, okay, now this is a cluster. Let's go visit Twitter. Let's go run over to Twitter. Come with me, and you guys make sure you follow us on Twitter, okay? Because Twitter sometimes is just lit in terms of crime and stuff. There's a huge community over there. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. This is so interesting. So I know Mel dropped a video as well. Shout out to Mel, okay? And it's quoting former FBI, somewhat coming for Kaylee's dad. Okay. And you guys said it in the chat as well. Sound you have someone from these former FBI coming for Kaylee's dad. He's never seen anyone that's seen like they have committed a homicide more than Mr. Goncalves. My conspiracy friends call me alluding to something similar. I laughed it off. Then I seen this. Okay, let's watch this shit. All right.
That nobody in the room, that it was fast.
Hold up.
Frustrated. And I understand, like, you know, I couldn't imagine as a dad and like being frustrated. And if you feel things are going cold.
This individual, Steven Gonzalez, he's doing an interview. It seems like every 4 to 8 hours. And many of these different news agencies are putting what he has to say all over the airwaves. And they're not looking at the totality of the things that this guy says. He himself, not law enforcement, he says conflicting things constantly, and he says things that are very odd over and over again. I've worked a lot of different cases. I spoke to a lot of different law enforcement. In fact, one police officer who was a mayor of a town in Springfield and a 20-year police officer reached out to me yesterday and said he's never seen anyone that seemed like they have committed a homicide more than Mr. Gonsalves. Now that's something when
Oh, you guys are no. I have no words. What? What was the reason for that? Let's give him a Cardi B, guys.
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason, bitch?
I don't need to explain myself to you. And
What was the reason?
What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the point? What was the reason for that? Like seriously, I'm so upset. Let me give you another Cardi B.
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason, bitch?
I don't need to explain myself to you. And
What was the reason?
Bingo. Bingo. I can't, yo. This, just listen. Side note. Take this note, okay? Did you know that Cardi B is also coming for Casey Anthony? I saw a tweet. Cardi B is coming for Casey Anthony's mothering, okay? I was like, not Cardi B. Yeah, she's coming. She tweeted something, but anyways, that's that's besides the point. But yes, this I don't know, guys. I thought you guys were lying to me. I swear. Let's watch.
And we're looking at his statements that he is consistently making to the media.
Wow, that's crazy to I don't know.
And the media is overlooking the fact that he is saying things, and I have some of the things that he says right here. He says that nobody in the room, that it was fast and nobody suffered. Right?
Yeah.
Yo, I literally had a conversation with Silvio about that. Literally, I'm gonna send him. He was literally like, because Silvio was like telling me like, how would he know that? Like, how would he know something like that?
There's been no report on them. He's also said that he's just going to say it. This is a quote from Kaylee's dad. I'm just going to say it. It was leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I sent my daughter to college. She came back in a box. He went to when they had their service for all the four slain and made jokes and talked about the lighting. This individual is bothering me and many people very much. And if it,
I mean, the lighting thing, when I saw that.
Oh my God. No, Phil, you were not lying. Listen, you guys were not lying. This is, wow. I have no words, yo. I have no words. Cops hate people looking over this shoulder. The father is bound to get flack because of hiring his own investigators. Patty, do you think, let me ask you guys a question. Hey, Nanya, welcome. Do you think, okay, and everybody can answer this as well, but do you think that by him hiring a private investigator, even families that'll hire, say, like a second autopsy or a private investigator, because they feel like there's probably more that people are overlooking, do you feel like it's setting the investigation up? Has there been any success? And maybe there has been in cases where people hire second investigators or something like that to help with the investigation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this. But yeah.
Yo, I mean, it's a tense thing, nervous. I mean, I don't know. I didn't take it like that. I think even the other parents had made some type of like to try to lighten the mood type of thing.
The very least, he is causing law enforcement more problems, I think, than anything else.
And I've had this conversation with friends too. I definitely don't think cops are happy with him for sure. Like they're probably, and I think that's why that police release came out today.
Mr. Gonzalez, he continues to push out there details about this crime that nobody really knows about.
Well, then why are police giving details? I mean, they're volunteering that information. I guess I'm confused. Every piece and aspect of information we've gotten from the sister or other or dad or whatever. But if there's something that they don't want them to know, then even though they might be asking, then this is where you kind of shut the channels down so that you can do. Unfortunately, you would have to, so you don't compromise an investigation. Okay, let me ask you guys a question in the chat. Are you guys over this guy? Put tomatoes if you're willing. If he was in the room with you right now, based on what he's saying, are you willing to tomato him at this point? Does he deserve a can of tomatoes or the actual tomato? Put a tomato in the chat if you're willing to boo this guy off. Because to me, I was like, listen, what was the reason for all of this? This is too much. Because for what? Why? Like, why? Look at you guys are tomatoing already. If you're willing to tomato the man, put a tomato. If you're willing to throw a can of tomatoes, put a can of tomato there as well. Just a few tomatoes. Okay. Listen. Boo. Look, you guys have tomatoed him. Look at that. Look at all these tomatoes. Look at all these damn tomatoes. Daisy said, fuck off, based on the member emoji. Look at that. Tomato. Look at that. Tomato. You guys have tomatoed the man. Oh my God. Cash put a little troll emoji as well. Oh, wow. We got 184 people. Make sure you guys hit the like button. If you're willing, just hit the like button. Do me a favor. That helps me in the algorithm. But it sounds like you guys are willing to tomato his ass today. Today we're tomatoing. All right. Listen, that's fair. You're coming here very ballsy, saying some ish like this. You're going to get tomatoed.
That there was different types of attacks and ferocity amongst the different victims. The only person that said that is this same individual. And in the way that he talks about how his daughter and the other girl that was with her were sleeping in the same bed. That information was not released until he said it.
Oh, I muted myself. Okay. Wow. This is a lot. And then you have the panty commercials. Okay, let's go back. Twitter is like lit sometimes. You never know what you find on Twitter. Look at that. And we have our updates. The last update was December 5th. I mean, in one of the paragraphs here that we have to very much pay attention to. Live chaos is laughing. However, we firmly believe speculation and unvetted information is a disservice to the victims, their families, and our community. The Moscow Police Department is committed and provided information whenever possible, but not at the expense of compromising the investigation and prosecution. I think that's fair enough, guys. I think that's fair enough. And they've received a lot of tips, and it sounds like they're very heavily sourced. But I don't know. I'm just telling you guys, I am just like at this point where what do you make of this situation? How do you not make it into a crazy fest? Welcome, Aries. Welcome. And how do you move forward with this? Like, it's too much, you know? And let me see. We're gonna talk about Club Q here in a minute, but shout out to everybody as well in the chat that is just joining us. And you make sure you hit that like button again. Thank you, Aries. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, we're gonna keep following this situation, the Idaho situation. You know, let's keep that family in the prayers, and let's figure out what exactly it is that you give attention to. Because sometimes, and let's be honest, this shit gets too heavy. And I tell you guys, you got to put that down. Put the phone down. Log off. Walk away from it. Burn it if you have to.
Time to put that phone down. Time to put that phone down.
Okay, yes, put that phone down. Let's talk about Club Q. Club Q is just a very, talk about a hate crime, okay? And I'm just kind of consuming the information as is right now because I'm having to read up. You know, you have 5 victims. This shooter, he was disarmed at the time. How kind of everything went down. People are talking about how he identifies as non-binary. Hey, Michelle, welcome, welcome, my love. It's 100% a hate crime. Period. Definitely. So I don't know what to. I don't know, you guys. I feel like, and I think it's gonna get very heated with this one for whatever reason. I get the sense that people are gonna go back and forth about this a little bit more. What a messed up dude! I don't believe at all. But it's, to me, it sounds like a hate crime. So he had his court hearing today. And again, this was the shooting off of Club Q in Colorado Springs. Let's watch.
Just in case.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Division 21 of the 4th Judicial District here in Colorado Springs. Before we call the first case this morning, it is worth noting that the court received a request for expanded media coverage in the case of the people of the state of Colorado versus Anderson Aldridge. The court has granted that request, which means that the media, in addition to its usual ability to attend the proceedings and report on this matter, has also been granted permission to record, live stream, and rebroadcast certain portions of the hearing this morning. Both the public and the media should keep in mind that the court must balance the freedom of the.
So this is when we actually get permission to live stream and record the hearings, you know, no shade to the other stuff. But yes, that, to me, I took that as formal permission that we can live stream this hearing. So yeah, I don't know if you guys picked up on that. Yeah, people were talking about, I don't know why, and I'm just saying, look, the last thing we're going to do is feed the hate, right? The situation here that happened at Club Q was a hate crime, in my opinion. And I don't think that anybody should be feeding more into it. If that makes sense. So whatever he identifies, I really don't give a shit. The point is he committed a hate crime, and let's focus on that. Period. Point blank. I'm just gonna say it, okay? But let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments about it. Ooh, why did it stop sharing? What the hell? Come on, my friend. Here we go.
The press with the rights of the parties to due process and a fair trial. In service of that mission, Colorado law provides that the court retains the power to curtail expanded media coverage when the needs of the case dictate. The media and the public are encouraged to view my order at the Colorado Judicial website and the website for the 4th Judicial District here in Colorado Springs. I have approved expanded media coverage only for the filing of charges portion of today's hearing. I will notify you when that portion of the hearing is complete. At such time, recording of the proceedings must cease. The media and the public are welcome to attend the remainder of the hearing, but no further recording or live streaming is allowed. For attendees who are physically present in the courtroom, you are reminded that appropriate courtroom behavior is required. Audible outbursts or other interruptive behavior is not allowed. Any violation of these orders will subject the violator to the loss of the right to attend these proceedings and/or sanctions for contempt of court. Next, I will have the parties announce their presence. We will start with the prosecution. Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michael Allen, Jennifer Beeman, and Reggie Short on behalf of the people of the state of Colorado.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And now for the defense.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Archambault Rose Roy, Officer of the Colorado State Public Defender, on behalf of Nick Aldrich, who appears in custody to my right.
Good morning. Do the people have charges to file in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. And we electronically filed this morning, but in the abundance of caution, we also have paper copies. We provided a paper copy to defense. I have a paper copy for the court as well.
Thank you.
Filing 305 total charges. Counts and theories of murder in the first degree, attempted murder in the first degree, assault in the first degree, assault in the second degree, and many counts of bias motivated crimes, and then the attendant COV charges, crime of violence charges as well.
All right. Does the defense waive any further reading or advisement on these charges?
We do, Your Honor.
Now, the defense has already requested a preliminary hearing. Should we be scheduling that hearing today?
Your Honor, speaking to Mr. Allen, that was our hope, is to find a date that works on the court's calendar. The court staff had given us some potential dates. We had explained to the prosecution, and Mr. Allen shared with me that
Yes, so it looks like we're going to be seeking some more dates. So just to give you guys an idea, so that was this morning up on Colorado Springs. It looks like it was in El Paso County Court. Shout out to everybody from El Paso and the Springs. Oh my God, this thing is glitching on me, you guys. It's glitching on me. Here we go. Let me bring this article real quick because it's going to kind of give us, it's more local, but suspect in Club Q shooting charged with 305 counts. Ooh, 305 counts. Charges against Anderson Lee Aldridge include 5 counts of first-degree murder and a dozen of attempted murder charges.
Football season is back,
And
we're
the
ready with
ads
your
get the
pizza
best
and
of
wings,
us all the
handcrafted,
time,
smothered in
guys.
cheese with a crispy, crunchy crust. Blackjack pizza and salads. Game on. Order a
Yes.
large one-topping pizza and wings for
Yeah, it's a lot,
$24.99
yo. It's a
today
lot.
at blackjackpizza.com.
This week, there are a couple more memorials for the 5 people killed in the Club Q shooting in Colorado Springs. Today, Kelly Loving will be laid to rest in Mississippi. Then tomorrow, family and friends will come together to remember Daniel Aston. His memorial service will be at a church in Colorado Springs. And today, the suspected shooter is scheduled to be in court for the very first time. Charges are expected to be formally filed against the suspect. Now, News reporter Darius Johnson joins us now with more on what we can expect today in court. Darius?
Hey there, Corey. Today's hearing is expected to begin at 8:30 this morning, where we could see those formal charges filed for the first time against the suspected shooter. We are no longer naming the suspect in this case. However, they identify as non-binary and use they, them pronouns. So that's how we will identify them. The last time the suspect appeared in court was November 23rd, just days after the shooting. At that time, they faced preliminary charges of first-degree murder and bias-motivated crime causing bodily injury. 5 counts for each of the 5 people killed at Club Q. In the first appearance, the suspect was asked 3 basic questions while handcuffed wearing an orange protective suit. They were also notably bruised and battered from the heroes who stopped the shooting that night. 2 people right there on your screen, Thomas James and Richard Fierro, took down the shooter, likely preventing them from taking more lives. At this point, police say they are still working to learn the exact motive. It's something we could learn eventually through court proceedings like these this morning. After the hearing this morning, we can expect a preliminary hearing, then an arraignment where the suspect would enter a plea against the charges. We're also expecting a news conference outlining the formal charges following that 8:30 court appearance. We will be there, and we will also bring that to you live on the 9 News Plus app, Corey.
All right, Darius, thanks for staying on top of this case.
What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. It's just, ooh, this thing is playing. It is a very unfortunate situation for sure. I mean, just such a loss of life. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families. Just, it's a horrible, horrible situation. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about it. I mean, it's a lot going on. We'll probably be following Club Q as updates are happening. I want to thank everybody who joined us. I'm going to have to head out here pretty soon, but all my members, everyone. Hey, Jessica, welcome. Shout out to you and everybody that joined us. Make sure you watch the replay. Very interesting live today. Shout out to, again, let's keep Brandy Neal, Michael Monkiva, all these people in our prayers, okay? It's so much, right? I don't care what you identify as. That's not an excuse, right? Pink, right? I second you on that. It's just so crazy to me right now with just, we're getting stuck on semantics, so to speak, right? Just my opinion. Yes, thank you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Felony. Everybody else that's coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you. I appreciate everyone. I'm gonna work on some content. I got some stuff going on right now, and I'll probably be live on it. If not today, maybe later on today or tomorrow. There's some other stuff I gotta look into it. I needed to be prosecuted as a hate crime. I assume I thought that's what they were gonna call it. I'm calling it a hate crime. I'm gonna call it how I see it. That's a hate crime, period. Period. So I don't know why they wouldn't call it that. But hey, maybe there's more to it. Maybe, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I'm curious to know why they wouldn't. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'm out of here. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.